Welcome and to God Love Tech. And today I'm actually going to work with real paper and a real printer, which is over here to my right. And we're going to print a card that we designed on Canva. And so to do that, the first thing that I need to do is find the file that I want to print and open it. So I have this downloaded. I downloaded it as a um, PNG, which means it comes down as a compressed file with two image files in it because I had two pages in my card that I was printing. So I need to, on a Mac, you just double click to open it. I think it might be the same on PC. Then you can click on the folder and you can see your two files. So we've got file one. So file one is the front of the card, and the other file, of course, is going to be the back. So in order to print the front of the card, I've got my printer next to me here. Bye, you'll hear my voice. There's my printer. And I've got my paper. So my paper is literally an 8.5 by 11 that I cut in half with scissors, not in an exactly straight line. That's character on the card. And so when you put it in the printer, it's actually really important that it's all the way over. And most printers will have tucked back here, hear that? That is a little gray thing that slides along. And what that thing does is it locks the paper into place. And if you don't slide it over to lock the paper into place, then your card is likely to kind of slide over. So, and then the other thing is when you're putting your card in, it might feel kind of natural to sort of put it here. I should have a different color paper, but you can see kind of over here that maybe I don't have it right up to the very edge. So it's really important that you get your paper right over to the edge, because if it's not on the edge, then your card's not going to print in a centered manner. And so really make sure it's all the way onto the edge, and then drag your little guide to hold it in place so that it stays over. So that's one really important thing. And then the next thing is, I mean, on this first side of the card, it doesn't really matter anything. But behind the piece of paper here, there's a guide to tell you what way to put the card in, and we'll look at that more closely next time. So then I'm going to go ahead and go back to myself and my computer screen being the focus. If I go to, okay, now you can't see this, but I'm going to go up here. So I'm in my photo viewing app is, excuse me, preview, but whatever photo viewing app you use, it's going to have a file print button. And that would go the same if you're viewing it like in a document viewing app. It doesn't matter, but you just go to file, which you can't see, and then print, right? So when you go file print, this is actually also an important place. Now, unfortunately, I have everything set up properly for this, but like, for example, if, so you make sure you're in the right printer. And I'm using my last use settings, and I used the last use settings I used were the settings that I want. But often that won't be the case because most of us aren't printing on these smaller pages. So so then I need you're going to actually have to change the settings, and that's sometimes not hard to see. Somewhere in this printer place, because if you go here to presets, like I don't even know what those mean, and none of them is going to print what I need to print. So if you go to show details, and again here I'm on the right thing, but if I were on US letter, you see it would print it in this weird way, and it would be even weirder because I don't have a US letter piece of paper, so it would be a really weird print job. And so it's important to make sure that you have the actual paper size chosen in your printer that you're actually printing to. Now, there will be somewhere for you to choose the paper size, and you're going to probably need to use some sleuthing because every printer and every computer probably has different things, but somewhere you're going to be able to make a custom size. And if you go here, I actually have saved, hang on just a second, that's really not, oh yeah, hang on, 140 by 216. So I know, sorry, I had to check because I know that I'm printing 8.5, 4.5 by 8.5, but I don't, then when I go in to do my custom settings, they require me to use millimeters. So that's difficult for me. And the conversion for the millimeters is 139.7 by 215.9. And so that's cards. Now I could add another custom preset, and I could call it big cards, and I could make it whatever I want. I could make it 315, doesn't matter. And then I could say okay. And then that's the big card, and you see that would mess up my thing. So anyway, you need to add in your custom size. Okay, so once you have your custom size, and you'll see in the preview that it looks right. It looks like what you want. And you might have some, like if there's a scale to fit, that might distort it. And so you might need to sort of click around and check your settings, but make sure what it looks like it's going to print as is actually what you want it to print as, and make sure that your paper size actually matches the paper size that you're going to print on. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is click print. Our printer's ready, we're ready, it's the time of printing, so we're going to click print. So we're printing, and printing takes a little bit of time. You can hear the computer going, ooh, I have work to do today, today I have some work to do. And it's going to go ahead and come through. And let's see, there you go. Always remember that I love you came out first. And now it's printing the painting that comes out a little bit more slowly. But actually, while we're waiting for this to happen, I just want to bring you into this right here. And I don't know if you can see that, but this shows you that when you put a piece of paper in the printer, it is going to print on the side that is showing upside down, which is what happened with this print job, right? It's printed on the side that is showing, but upside down. Because if we remember, upside up in our image to the left would have had it printing the picture first and then the text. So this tells us, and it just spat out, this tells us that when we put it back in, because this is the kicker, and believe me, I do have cards. I have what I like to call a thank you card, which is where I put it in the wrong way first. So that's the double. So anyway, when we're putting it in, it's going to be printing, it's going to print on the side that is showing, so I need this side to be showing, and it's going to print upside down, so I want the bottom of the card to go in. Now I know that this is upside up for my card, the way that I designed it in Canva, right? And so when I turn it around, this is upside up. However, they have told us that it has to be upside down, so now I need to turn it upside down. So you want to put it upside down on the side that's printing. Now, other printers might be different, and they might be, their image might show you something different. But as we were looking at it, the way that those images work is where it's showing you that it'll show you text, or mine has a mountain, and it's showing me that it needs to be upside down. So I'm putting my piece of paper in upside down. I'm making sure, I'm just going to move my guide for a sec. I'm making sure that the paper is all the way over and all the way in. and then I'm sliding over my little keeper. Should have put a little heart on my elbow or something. Slide over my little slider to make sure that it's right snuggled in, and it's going to print in a centered manner. And then I'm going to go back up. Oh, but see, now I need to open the other image. So I'm going to click over to my files, and I'm going to open PNG2. And there it is. I changed my colors from the last video to match some document colors. I don't know if it worked out, but here we go. This is what we've got. And then I'm just going to say File, Print. And of course on the second side, it's probably going to default to what you just did, but do make sure that it looks like what you think you want it to look like. Make sure that it's the size that your paper is that's in the printer. And don't get confused about, like, this is upside down, so I should print it upside up. Absolutely not. We know from our piece of paper that this is upside up, and that goes with that upside up. So this is the upside up, and I know I need to print it upside down according to what the picture on my printer told me. So I am putting it into my printer upside down. So let me just do that again. Wouldn't that be funny if I had the heart drawn on my elbow magically? Had some little elf in here doing my jobs. Okay, so there we go. Here we go. Fingers crossed, because it might not work. It doesn't always. That's another thing. If it doesn't work, just do it again. Maybe even practice on some junk paper, but then with the price of ink, I don't know. You'll figure it out. So here we go. How will it come out of the printer? Will it come out the way we want it? We don't actually know, but we think it will. We think it will. Oh. Okay, that's okay. We got a little jam. It says it doesn't have paper, so. Okay, it said it didn't have paper, so I pressed the paper button and it grabbed the paper. So double finger crossings, double finger crossings. What will the printer provide? Okay, people. I don't want to blow your actual whole mind, but we did it correctly. So now we just fold our little card in a straight manner. It looks like I maybe have a little bit less on the top. I think you might need to subtract some, like a 1/16 of an inch or something for the fold, because that actually takes up space. But basically what we have now, my friends, is a card with a front and a thank you and a little love note on the back. So I hope that was helpful to you, and I hope you're having an amazing day.